Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Reality Steve has leaked the spoiler for who will be the winner of Gerry Turner's premiere season of Golden Bachelor. I'm going to share all that information with you and more in this video. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes bonus content. I'll be live at the 10 a.m. hour today. And also Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast, every afternoon. I was made aware that Spotify wasn't working for a lot of people yesterday. Completely out of my control. If your Spotify ever doesn't work, just use Apple Podcasts or TuneIn or Stitcher or iHeartRadio. If you do not see our podcast listed, it's live every afternoon, but I think they've fixed the problem. So we'll get into that in a minute. All right, before I share the spoiler, I'll play a few different clips of Golden Bachelor just to warm us up. So the spoiler's going to come in like 5 minutes or so. In case some people put this video on and maybe they slipped and fell and they're on the ground and they're like, no, Dave, don't spoil it, and they can't reach the off button. I'm just going to give you 5 minutes to crawl over there and pause. Golden Bachelor star Gerry Turner interested in going Dancing with the Stars. All right, first of all, I'm sure this isn't Elizabeth Ketkowski's problem here. Usually it's the editor who butchers the title, but that is a bad title. Golden Bachelor star Gerry Turner has no desire to slow down after appearing on reality TV, and now he's apparently interested in trading in red roses for dancing shoes. Dancing with the Stars is currently in its 32nd season, and the Bachelor and Bachelorette alums are no stranger to the ballroom. Given Gerry has captured viewers' hearts all over the world with his sweet personality and charming nature on The Golden Bachelor, he's probably well aware that he'd receive a lot of votes on Dancing with the Stars next year. Yeah, he'd be a fantastic for dancing. He'd be one of the oldest contestants they've ever had, which is great. Anyone can learn to dance at any age. I'd be open to any and all opportunities, Gerry told the New York Post, of possibly competing on a future season. Because as much fun as I've had up to this point, and as much fun as my family has had coming along with me on this journey, I wouldn't say no to anything. I would have to kind of get more information before I committed to something, the 72-year-old retired restaurateur explained. But gosh, I mean, how much fun could that be? I love him. Don't you love him? But by golly, wouldn't that be a treat? I'm probably just an average guy, so on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 5 as a dancer. Gerry, look, you play pickleball. I'm sure you got good feet. I think he would be fantastic on Dancing with the Stars. And I think, no offense to others that we've seen, but it'd be nice to see a spry 72-year-old versus some, upbeat 18-year-old who can, chug a cold brew and then just learn a paso doble. So anyway, one more article. Actually, let's play this here. We've got Faith Martin. Now, she was a finalist, or one of the finalists of Gerry's season. Now she's doing the media rounds. As we know, she is, of course, a former morning show host, so she's very familiar with the microphone. Here's what she had to say about Gerry Turner. Again, the spoiler's coming right after this.
He knows what he needs in his life.
Yeah.
And so I was fully supportive in his decision if that's what it was going to be. But that doesn't stop the feelings that
Absolutely.
we just were so bound and so connected. And I just love the guy to death. And in my eyes, the way I'm hurting for him, because I know these were difficult decisions that he had to make, and him going forward having to make those hard decisions. I mean, you got to remember, he grew up in Indiana. He was married to the same woman for 47 years.
Yeah.
You get with 22 beautiful women that are literally throwing themselves at him.
Yeah.
And, the guy's only human. So anything going forward that you see on the show, I just have to say the guy is got to be one of the most, if not, I can only think of one other person as lovely as Gerry that I've ever met in my whole entire life.
Wow.
So his intention is so pure and so wonderful. There's just no way you can have
Can I just say that
feelings.
This is exactly why you are the fan favorite.
Oh, I don't know that I'm the fan
You
favorite.
are. I mean, if you go through, and this is not just biased because we love you so much. It's honestly, if you go through and you watch and read everything that gets put out, it is faith.
Oh,
People love
so
you.
sweet.
And we try to explain to people, we were talking about it the other day. I said, you guys don't understand. The Faith you see on that show is exactly who she is.
Well,
this is how she shows up for people
100%.
in real
100%.
life. There
It's so
is no
sweet.
fakeness there.
Well, you know what? Okay, so it's so funny because as soon as the show started, people kept going, "You're so genuine, you're so authentic." And I looked at my son. I go, "What do they mean?
What do they
Because
mean?
what did I miss the menu?
I think the problem is we see so many shows that involve 23-year-olds on Bachelor in Paradise. No offense to people like Jess, and I'm sure she's super sweet, right? But, people are trying to find their voice. So when you see people in their 60s and 70s, you can see their authentic nature because they have found their voice. For years, it's so natural to them to know who they are, and they're not jockeying for positions of power, and they're not the pick me this, and I'm going to be this type of person. No, they just know. They know who they are, and it's been refreshing as hell to watch.
The memo that we could be somebody other than who we are, because I don't know how to do it different.
Right.
And so I'm like, what do they mean? Isn't everyone authentic? Isn't everyone?
No.
Just, but how do you not? What does that mean? Like, how do you
most
not
people
be
just
who you
go
are?
to impress other people, right? So they
It's true.
do what they think somebody else wants them to do, show up how they think that person wants them to, and that's not you. I mean, and
No.
we know that that's not you because
good
we've
or
known
bad,
you for
right?
so
Right,
long.
correct.
And
Yeah.
you accept all of it, though. And
Yeah.
that's the thing I think is great, which is why people fell in love with you. And the fact that you are so genuine with the fact that this is real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These were real feelings. This isn't a production. I mean, yes, it's a show,
Yeah.
but the feelings are real. But you having the ability to separate out your heart and your head and say, I have to respect him for who he is and
absolutely.
the position that he's in. I had my feelings, he had his feelings, but here's where we're at now. And yourself being okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I had a gamut of emotions, and
course.
some of them were screw you, Gerry.
Yeah.
And some of it was, I'm just shattered, and part of it was, me. I went through everything.
Yeah.
The weird part about it all is that it took a really long time for my analytical brain and my emotions to become aligned.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yes, I get it. I'll be fine. That's the survivor in me. And from the night that I left, I'm like, okay, I go great in crisis mode. I go calm. I go numb in crisis mode.
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
2 days later, I'm complete meltdown,
Sure.
right?
That's
and
me.
so then, that's the mom in us,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So then, days later, and, it just the fact that I go, I'm good. I'm feeling fine today. I'm just fine. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know why I was being such a baby. I'm good. This is all going to be fine. And then 24 hours later, I'm like,
Yeah, that's the cycle of events, right? So she says she goes into mom mode, which is stoic during crisis mode and feel her emotions later. It's kind of like a fight or flight thing, right? Like, let's fight, let's figure it out, and then afterwards we'll be able to feel our feelings. And we feel our feelings for Faith there. Faith Martin, folks. Love to hear these conversations. Can't wait to hear more. Let's jump into it. Are you ready for the spoiler? This is presented by Reality Steve. The Golden Bachelor finale spoiler here. He says, it's taken a while, but I have finally been able to find out who Gerry chose. Gerry is engaged to Teresa. That's right, folks. I don't know what you say her job title is. She went from being a mom, I guess a stay-at-home mom, to learning the ropes of the financial world, and she became a finance bro. Right? We watched that in the last episode. Finale will air a 2-hour episode on Thursday, November 30th. We'll have a pre-show for that. And then the after show, my guess is that means Bachelor in Paradise will only be 1 hour because it won't be the finale. I'm not entirely sure. But either way, expect a pre-show live stream, public, and a after show live stream. Now, I have to say, it is heartbreaking that some of the comments are like, I wish it was the other one, because you're always going to have people that want him to choose somebody that they didn't end up choosing, which is super unfair. And we deal with it on shows like Bachelor and Bachelorette, but we deal with it when it's Bachelor and Bachelorette and it's a 25-year-old. We can be like, oh, Tino, huh? He's 28, right? And then he's got, 50 more years of redemption, right? But on a show like this, and I'm not saying that's right for a Bachelor, but that's just what exists, right? But on a show like this, it's like, gosh, you don't want to see anyone get heartbroken. But you don't want to see Gerry choose the person he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And then audience go, yeah, you should have chose somebody else. It's like, oh, shut up. It's not your choice. If Gerry, but I will say it was interesting on Fantasy Suite dates where it looked like Teresa wasn't going to be the winner. He had such a good time with Leslie, and then he's with Teresa, and he's like, is it weird I'm still thinking about Leslie? And it's like, no, Gerry, that's not weird at all. You're just like, you're still overcoming the energy you felt from the previous person. That always happens. I think that when I'm at Taco Bell, I'm like, I still feel like I'm thinking about Del Taco. And well, that's probably for a different reason. Taco Bell sucks. Unless they want to sponsor, in which case we love a Crunchwrap Supreme. All right, that's me. I will grift for the highest dollar. You guys heard that, folks. All right, that's the Golden Bachelor winner. It leaked. We'll have more coming to you today. Did you hear our new intro on the podcast? We are really ramping things up. On Monday, we will start, that's right, on Cyber Monday, we will start our double podcast episodes. That's right. We'll have a morning rush hour and an afternoon rush hour. And if it goes well, fingers crossed, we'll do this throughout December and into 2024. That's right. We have big things coming up for the audio-only fans out there. Now, don't get me wrong. We're still going to have YouTube for you. My goal is to get this ball rolling to get this snowball going down the hill fast enough that then maybe we can bring in some people to help produce these things. But it's my belief there's a little bit of room left on the plate, which is not always said during Thanksgiving week, folks. Get your cranberry sauce. Don't get that canned shit. Come on, you got to make it. All right, we'll be back with more content right after this.